All right, Happy New Year, everybody. It's the start of 2022 today. I figured that I would do a house build. I mean, folks have been asking since the Christmas build that I done was removed. I've thrown in a bunch of furniture. My exterior has changed. I'm going to be taking up the Palm Tree Island. Basically, this one here is going to be an insanely good auto farm that I figured out a long time ago. I'd actually experimented with it for an afternoon and figured it was so efficient that I had to dismantle it. So I've got a couple of improvements on that design as well. Stay tuned in the future for that one. But right now I'm going to be doing my interior. So you can see that I've got my wall fences or my horizontal and vertical walls. Those have been placed out here. Basically, I've laid out some rooms. I've got one room that's going to be a little bit of a study area. I've got one room that's going to be a bedroom. I've got one room that's a cozy room. This is going to be my bathroom over here. I recently had some folks complain that I never do a washroom, so I will do a tiny, tiny little bathroom in the corner. I've never even purchased a toilet in this game, so that'll be a first. And then over here, I'm going to have my main room with a wood stove and some stuff to cook with, basically. So trying to make it like a little home. So first thing I'm going to do, I've got my walls laid out into the room sections that I want. You can see up here that this one is actually overlapping the top edge of the house, like the base layout. And that's intentional. What I want to do is create a kind of layered approach. Basically, this is going to be the tallest point in the build, and then it's going to come down to this one. Then there's going to be a kind of a ground floor, which is going to be this main room and the toilet, and then there's going to be a lower area, which is going to be where I've got the TV and the couches and all the comfy stuff down here. Okay, so that's my basic build concept. I like working with the 2.5D stuff, not quite 3D. I've got these acorn fences here to kind of lend to that. I'm going to throw these to 0 layer and layer them into the hallway. I'm going to rotate this one 2 times, get it flush. Oh, rotate it an extra couple of times to get it long. And yeah, I'll throw it in the corner here and it should line up nicely there. So basically I'm just trying to create that sense of depth with the acorn fence underneath the layer of wall fence. And if you don't have wall fence, I know that it's been removed recently. Some folks don't have access to that. Some people had the horizontal wall or the vertical wall like I do. It's 2 separate items that I deal with. Some people had the wall fence itself, which was one item that did the same 2 things. It was in the flea market. And then it was removed some time ago when Swamp got the revamp in Swamp Town there. So if you don't have that, there's other ways that you could go about creating a wall. You could use fences, you could use some other kind of an object. I particularly like the crypt fence. It has a really nice impact in the level. It doesn't have the same warm kind of wooden color as this. If you're looking for that, you could potentially use a wall fence. Or sorry, not a wall fence. If you don't have a wall fence, use a wall fence. You could use a normal fence from Bell Island. I've seen some people make walls with boxes as well, the box item. Or if you have enough bricks, you could do it with the brick item, the strange brick from looting. Or potentially you could take some bricks, the kind of building block bricks. Wow, that's a tongue twister. You could take the bricks, like the Lego bricks from the Red Barn as well, if you want to build something with stackable bricks. The only issue with those, the biggest challenge is making them look nice and not take up 3/4 of your level. These guys here are pretty slim. Those bricks, when you want to build a wall with them, vertically it's okay, but it's something where if you're trying to build horizontally, so if you've got like, I mean it's kind of backwards what I'm saying, but if you've got these vertical sections of wall basically that you want to emulate with the strange brick, basically it's going to take 2 pixel slots, like it's going to take 2 units across, as opposed to just the 16, like this is a 16 by 16 square as opposed to a 32 by 32 square. Those are going to be a little bit bigger. So that becomes a challenge sometimes when you're working with strange bricks or the Lego shaped bricks. Or, I mean, if you're really proficient in killing that green blob, you could technically use the green blob brick as well. I don't know who has that many of the green blob bricks, but if you do, I would love to see a build. That would be really cool. Okay, so one of the things that I really want to do with this is to have a location for this little tiny train. I love this little train. It's something that I don't use in my builds nearly as much as I would like to. And I really want to get this guy in here. So my idea is to have it come over on this side. I'm going to position it here and then get it to come up behind my bookshelf. So basically I'm going to have these magic bookshelves that are going to come into this corner slot up here. I might go for the Nexus bookshelves that I have as well, but I'm going to take these guys here and put them up in this corner here, and I want to get the little train doing the right thing in there. So the idea is that it should go sneak along behind those bookshelves and then come down into this room. So I'm gonna get it to go up along here, come down, and then come into this little room as well. And have a little loop on both ends so it comes back the other way. So if you guys don't have the miniature train, this was offered, what was it now, 2-3 years ago? I think 2 or 3 years ago it was there at the birthday, like the anniversary of Graal Classic. It was released more than once, so they did actually give us this little train set, I think 2 times or 3 times, and you had the opportunity to buy the little tracks and the little train several times. It was pretty cheap per tile. I think it was like 200 gralats or something, so on par with the larger train tile as well. Okay, so here I'm going to add a little corner. I'm going to get it to come along, and I'm going to test what I've done. Oh, I did the wrong thing there. Keep it there, so it kind of sneaks along behind. And I don't know, I'm not counting. I have 20 of these little tiles, so it may or may not work out. I might have to improvise a little bit, but I'm going to throw the little train on there and see what he does. Ideally, it should roll along to the end. And I'm going to see if I can throw a... Actually, let's try and get the loop in here before it comes to the end. Nah, it's too late. It's already going there. Yeah, so it's working properly. It goes along a little track. I will give it a little loop around here with the loop up, and then I'm going to grab one more. And basically the idea is that you want it to curve back around on itself. And this particular item, like this little miniature train track, it's kind of broken. The way that these little tiles work out isn't quite perfect. So it does require a little bit of fiddling. But I have the majority of my train track set up there. And I'm going to try and pull one out. See if this guy works. Oh, I thought that might be the case. So yeah, it moves along. It should roll up the side here and then head back in the same direction. You can use the same logic when you're building with the railroad ties as well. I've seen some people build crazy stuff with these. For some reason, it's not giving me the left-hand up loop. Don't know what's going on there. Let's give it a shot and see if it pops along and heads up in that direction anyway. Okay, so in the meantime, while that's rolling along, I'm going to head over to my bedroom section here. I have kind of made a little bit of a consideration in this room here. Because I want to have the impact of this tile, like this wall fence coming in above this one here. I want this actually to look like it's higher, and I'm going to accentuate that. I've got a library ladder in here in this mess somewhere. There's the wheel there, actually. It's right there. I'm going to have that coming down into the kitchen, but the way that I want it to appear is that this is actually higher up. So to do that, I've overlapped my my horizontal wall here as well as my acorn fence. And the idea is that this should appear on a higher plane than the lower section down here. To do that, I've slipped this over one to emphasize that. And what that's done is it's created a slot of 3, where normally you see the other rooms here, I've got a slot of 2, like it's a 32 wide, like 32 pixels wide slot. And this one is going to be 48. So that's not a big deal. When you're doing a build, you can kind of get away with that. Again, using these acorn fences, I can just throw a 2, like a short one in there. The trick will be on these ones here, I will overlap the edges, both of these edges properly, and then this one I will kind of cheat and fudge it a little bit. I'll not overlap one edge, but I will overlap the other, so that the distance is the same when people are going to travel through that room. They still have the 32 slot to walk through, and not the 48. Okay, so for some reason, I don't know what's up with this one. It's not rotating properly. Ideally, it should switch to that, and it might just be lag that's causing that. I'm not sure. There might be a cache issue or something. I don't know what's going on there. Anyways, I'm gonna pop into my room, my second room here. Looks like I've got an extra vertical piece here, which I'm going to casually just throw behind the other one. Hiding things is good. Okay. I got a poster. I'm gonna throw the poster on the wall. I got these little lights. I finally broke down and purchased some cozy lights from Red Barn. I figured that they were gonna go really nicely with that kind of Nordic furniture from On It General. If you haven't purchased that yet, please do. It's really sweet. Yeah, you're gonna wish that you had some awesome white couches when they totally remove those in a week or something. Okay, I think this is another light set. I'm gonna throw those on right at the end so I can position them nicely. This one is some art that was from Retro Nexus. Actually, a bunch of these posters that I've got here are from Retro Nexus. I think I'll slip one over on that side as well, but I'll keep one here. I'll keep the bigger one on this side. I think this is going to slip really nicely into this spot right here. So I'll use my grid move and keep it there, and then I can kind of have my like desk situation just in front of that, and then I can show. Cool. Okay. So I got my bed. I got my big old mirror. I don't know if that's going to fit. I would like it to. I got a corn bookshelf there that was on for. Was it Thanksgiving one year? I think it was Thanksgiving. This guy I'm going to make level 2, layer 2 rather. I'm going to pop my bookshelf up to layer 1 because I can get away with that. And then I'm going to keep my plushies up on top of my bookshelf. So these guys here, these little cat plushies, love them to death. I wish I had the other colors. I only have 3 different colors. I have a pink, a blue, and a green. I think there's an orange one, a yellow one that I've seen for sure. If you guys have any other colors, please do let me know. I mean, there's no way that we can actually get them. You know, I can't just buy them at the store or something. It has to come from Christmas gifts, but it's good to know what's out there, so I'll know when I have a finally have a complete collection someday. Okay, so I also have this. Oh, no, that's my mirror. My mirror is next. Okay, I'm going to keep the mirror maybe in this corner and ditch the old one. The old dresser. This is an ancient Mod Town item. It might slip in there, but I don't think so. And this has actually been a year for kind of coming to terms with the stuff that I want to get rid of related to housing. Like, I've kind of picked up a lot of stuff. And there's been scenarios where I find myself really frustrated going, oh, you know, I need to get rid of this, or I might use this eventually, so I have to save it or whatever. And more this year, it's like, okay, am I using it right now? No, I'm going to get rid of it. And, you know, I still have way too much junk, but over time, what's happening is I'm realizing, like, for instance, I sold my last old couch this year. Like, I had the original couches that you could get at the beginning of the game, like the first couches that were released, and I had 2 of these old beat up looking they kind of look like they're leather or something. I had 2 of these old couches, and yeah, I had one for a while that I was using and making excuses to keep, and then these white couches came out, and I was like, yep, you know what, it's time, and I got rid of them. I'm proud of that. It's hard to throw away stuff when you're like, you know, hoarding thousands of objects. I feel like Elster sometimes. I have way too many items in here. Okay, this is just not letting me select anything. Okay, there's the blob display. I'm putting all my art on my wall. I like that. I do have a couple of candles here. I may reposition those. I'm going to keep my green beanbag chairs in my room. Normally I'm throwing these into the games room, like my video games room. But this time I wanted to keep them in my room so I can sit on the beanbag chair. I'm going to keep this little nightstand in the corner. And I think there's a bonsai tree sitting in here somewhere that I will add in there as well. I want to take one of these candles, at least one of these candles, and throw it in the kitchen room. So I will do that right now. Keep it down there. And that, yeah, I don't think that train is working properly, but I will resolve that in some time. I probably will do that off camera just to fix the little train thing. I suddenly became conscious that it was like, oh my gosh, this train thing is taking forever. So, yeah. Maybe if I pull another video, I'll show you guys what I did with the train to make it work. But I remember that there's something that's broken about it. Like, there's some orientations that just don't work. Keep my chest right there. I got a little Santa plushie. I'm gonna throw him up behind these guys here. He's kind of like peeking up behind the building, or behind the dresser there. Okay, got my oh, that's another pink one. Oh no. Pink plushie, what are you doing? We can't have duplicates. That doesn't look good. I mean, I suppose I could like keep them in a box or something. We got these cute little Nordic doll. This little Nordic doll is kind of neat. Looks almost like a little Santa's elf or something. I don't know what if there's a some kind of like a mythology or something around those little guys. There was a grok or a gronk. I'd actually never heard of that before. So there's a little tiny doll, and there's a great big doll that was like, he kind of had like a almost a gnomey look to him. And that's kind of cool. I mean, interesting to see some stuff from other regions. Okay, I have my wonderful Octo plushie. Little baby Cthulhu going on. That was originally from Japan Nexus, so can't get him anymore. He's pretty old. I'll have him peeking out over the top of the mirror. Be like, you look fabulous, just go. Don't look in the mirror, just go. This guy's gonna cover up Santa's hand. And that's shaping up pretty good. Not too happy with the music box position. The rubber ducky is gonna go over in the bathroom, I guess. Originally I was thinking to keep him as like a plushie or like a doll, but I think he's good there. Pink plushie is gonna go back in the inventory. And hat display, I'm just gonna keep it in here. I think I'll probably wind up putting it on a table or something. Usually that's where it goes, is up on something. What else do I got? Okay, so I have these art, the wall art. I will keep that in here. And it's underneath those little hearts, has to be. Make it layers, oh. Layer 0, there you go. So I can see those little hearts too. Oh, and then it moved away. So it looks like I got just a bajillion little photos, and I kind of do. There is kind of a bajillion little photos on there. That's pretty cool. Okay, so this one is gonna go up beside the treasure box. A couple of interactive objects, and I think I have room in here for a carpet. which I did not honestly expect. I kind of expected it to be a little bit too much stuff in here, but it actually looks really good. I'm happy with how it worked out, and I think I'll probably throw a carpet in. Okay, so these ones, I've not used these little lights before. I think what I'm going to try and do is set them up so that they kind of frame the rest of this. I'm putting them on layer 2 just as a hunch that I think they need to go over top of the other stuff to look good. That's not bad. Nice book pile, which will totally go down behind these guys, which are going to come up a little bit, and I'm getting too fiddly. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put the books in the corner, and that's pretty much that room. Cool. So I'm going to throw the hat display. I'm going to leave this one as my hat display. Usually I do one for players who are passing through and one for myself. This one will be mine. So I can display my rando hats. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Cool. Okay, so there's my room. This little tiny plaque here will go into the study room. Oh, and I forgot this one. Whoops. Maybe right there? Nope. It's tempting to throw it in a wrong place, but I think that that room is too packed. So I am going to keep it on the bed, or like kind of beside the bed, so I remember to move it. And leave it at that for now. Actually, you know what? Somebody might come through. I'll throw it in the bathroom. There's no bathroom yet. I have to place like 800 more items before I can even buy a toilet to go in the bathroom anyway, so we'll get there. My next thing is this little train thing. Can I maybe... Oh, look, that one worked. Okay, so I've placed this, the other one, that was actually a glitch. So this is a glitch because I've placed that object already. So it won't let me do that. But this one here I positioned, or I transferred before, so it looks like that's going to work for me. And I'm trying doing this, but I think what's going to happen is I'm going to wind up cheating a little bit to make that work. I don't think this works properly this way. Keep it right there. I think you have to actually change the direction of the train a different way, if I remember correctly, because this will probably just loop around multiple times. That's my guess. Yeah, see, it looped back around and went left instead, so what I'm going to do is go straight with that one, and I think that makes it work properly. I think it will now go up, but I'm not sure. Nope, it went back down. Okay, so in that case, then the solution is to do one in this direction. Here, we hope. I need to catch the little train. Oh, little train, what are you doing to me? Nope, little train's just stuck in a time warp. I'm not able to do the little train right now. Okay. I'll fix the rest of it. And I so desperately want the train to work and look cool, but it's like not right now, so yeah. Okay, so I have my little tiny poster here. I have a telescope. Telescope is pretty old, but it looks cool in a study. I also have a nice book table and a whole bunch of computer components from the most recent Nexus. Oh, and this chalkboard. That's interesting. I'm going to keep the chalkboard up top, right here. Right about there. And one of the drawbacks of this chalkboard is nobody can read this. Can Can you read this? And I think it might show for a while, but then like eventually what happens is you can't read it. You load up the page and it just doesn't show up. Okay, got my poster box. I would really like to have these guys fit up in that corner, but I don't think both of them will. Unless I kind of hackney it a little bit. So I'm going to throw this to layer 0 and then throw the other one in there as well. Miniature train tracks. Yeah, so this is one of the downfalls of placing a whole bunch of items before starting the build, is that every now and then there's an object that comes in your way. So, lesson learned. Throw it all in one big pile and then figure it out as you go, rather than trying to be clever. This is a magic carpet bed. I got 2 of these for Christmas this year. I had a couple from before as well. I think I have one in my guild house right now. That's a goose table, which I don't think I'm going to make room for this time. I love that goose table. It looks so fresh and cool, but yeah, I don't think it's going to work in this build. I got a globe. I got this really sweet table. This is again a Japan Nexus table. What else we got? Okay, so there's this other magic bookshelf, which, oh, looks like it might fit. Maybe I can keep it up here. One higher? One higher? How high can we go before it looks dumb? Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. It's got the sign covering most of it, which is my goal here. I would like that sign to cover the whole thing, but then I've got this ugly flat part here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've got a solution. I'll bring my poster up. It's actually layer 1 already, so it will cover that book, or the train, rather, when the train comes around. And I'm going to use... oh, well, my ladder goes down here. That ladder is going to go down into the kitchen area. This larger book is going to cover quite a lot of real estate here, and it's going to be my computer table. So the fact that that's layer 1, that's a little tricky to handle. Okay, so I got my computer stuff. That means that if this is layer 1, then those have to be layer 2, and I really don't want that. So that has to be layer 0. That means that these guys can be layer 1. If these are layer 1, they will also block some of the unsightlies up top here. Okay, there's another one. Got a little mouse and keyboard going on. And then all the cool detail stuff for this room too. I'm really stoked about that. I got a bunch of cool stuff in here. What I think I'm going to do is actually use this right here as a layer 1. And keep it up top in this corner. It's tempting to just blot that whole thing out with this table, but I'm not going to. I'm not, after all. Indecisive. And that little train is just going to nowhere, so. Oh, and the train is... yeah. Okay, I'll keep going through my pile here. And that table is coming down. So that's going to be in that same room, but here. And the reason being is that I want to have interactive space that's not just the computer and the books. Like I might put something on the books eventually, but probably not. And I would like to have a space that looks a little bit more natural in the study area. So it looks like, you know, people might want to go and sit in that area. Oh, I got way too many of those acorn fences in there for some reason. And I'm going to keep this here. It's going to come down about right in the corner. Keep it right there. And I'm going to keep these chairs. I got these are from Fairy Tale Nexus, I believe. Original Fairy Tale Nexus with the Three Bears story, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So there were some Nordic chairs that were awesome. They look really good, but I couldn't warrant purchasing new chairs when I knew that I had these little wooden ones that are just absolutely perfect for my purpose anyway. So I kept these ones. I'm happy with them. This modern coffee table can go down there. And I mean, that's kind of the thing about like building your gear over time, like whatever your set is. If you have stuff that you like and you see something new, you have to kind of decide if you're gonna replace the thing that you already have. And sometimes that's for the best, right? Sometimes you want to get rid of the old one. Sometimes it doesn't suit the rest of your stuff, or you run into some kind of a bug or a problem in using it. But a lot of the time it's like, hey, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Right? If there's something that you have that it works and it solves that problem, or that, you know, it has that effect that you want it to have in the game, then why buy a new one? Actually, these soundboards are just like that. I know that I bought the soundboards. I know what I bought the soundboards for, is it's just random tech stuff. But it looks kind of like just a step too far. I'm going to set my computer screen as well. So interesting thing about the computer screens that you could purchase is that if you grab them a few times, you can actually change the screen on there. I'm going to make mine Burger Refuge. I don't think there's the option to do permissions on that. Yeah, no. So if some random admin shows up and they decide that they want to change my computer screen to the blue screen of death, then I'm in trouble. Okay, so there's my little nerd setup. Probably have to put this disco chair there because that was just too cool. I got a little rose for my table. I also have several other plants. A lamp. This is a brown lamp. It's ancient as well. I've almost sold that probably a dozen times. I have a samurai lantern. So this one's really cool, and I know exactly where I'm putting it. It's going to go right near the ladder up here in the corner. And this is looking already, it looks a little bit more like a livable space. It looks like something you might want to, you know, do some homework or something sitting in the room. Okay, so these are lychee. I think it's lychee. Switch my table to layer 0 so you can see those. They're little red envelopes from Chinese New Year. These are little white envelopes. Keep them there. So this table is like the mail table, I guess. I would like to keep this guy here. I don't know if he's going to work. Money plant in the corner. And he is in a pot. I can almost get away with it. Almost. We'll see. What's next here? Oh, I got those cushion chairs. Awesome. Okay, so there's cushion chairs that I'm going to... Oh, shortcut this. I'm going to use the cushion chairs on my table. And I will use my little wooden Goldilocks chairs for the computer table up top here. Microphone can go up there. That was really such a cool thing. The computer table and the stuff that they had set up for the computer. It just came just so perfectly at the right time for me. It's like, hey, you're starting up, are you? Here, in game, what do you want? I'd love a computer. Oh, there you go. Okay, what else we got in the pile? A few more items. So this is a situation where I'm actually sacrificing functionality, functionality for form. So instead of keeping one chair here, I'm actually cutting this chair off to add depth, so it appears that this is above this other location. Basically, like you can technically sit on that chair, but it's only halfway, so it adds to the impact of this table by cutting the top of this off and placing it behind this other piece. Technically, I could probably get away with 3 at the top and 1 on the side, but then the table will look really narrow. And what I want to go for is that impression that it's actually a kind of a cool square table, or a little bit more deep down below. Even though we all know that every single table, like they're all identical. I'm going to do the same thing with this. Kind of half increment it down there, I guess, because I would still like a little bit of that golden edge. What else we got? Well, I have the Book of Medora. Right, and my bonsai. This is actually the one I was looking at, is the bonsai tree for this section here. So I think I will probably keep my little bonsai tree. The bonsai tree is okay right there, but I think I'd like to bring it down. And see, maybe I can get the... Oh! I flailed it. It went somewhere else. I'll keep this guy here. And then the bonsai tree beside it. So it looks like a super cluttery plant table with like envelopes and a magic crystal ball. That's cool. I like that. That looks really nice. A little cluttery, but there's interesting stuff on the table to look at. There's even a little bit of animation with the crystal ball. Awesome. So yeah, coming along with my little nerd hole here. Looks pretty good so far. Gonna keep my Book of Medora up on the top shelf, just as it should be. Get my other chair there for spectating. So now kind of comes a really big decision point. I can technically throw my globe up here and a bunch of other stuff and just kind of like blot out the corner, which is tempting to do. I think I would like to have this section right here kind of covered up as well, so maybe I'll take the globe over there. See what I can do with that. Half increment it. Yeah, and the problem with that corner actually right now is that if I continue building, I'm going to have to rip it out to fix the railroad. So I'm going to leave it as it is. This one here needs to go somewhere. So I'll keep it up here for now. Disco chair didn't wind up getting used. I'm going to keep the rose on top of my book. I know it's bad practice for books, but it just looks so cute. I would never treat a book that way in real life. Trust me, please. Believe me. Get the little aloe plants in there. I think I'm gonna actually keep this one for the cozy room. And yeah, this room looks pretty good too. I am kind of at odds with the disco chair. I'm gonna leave it here, but I might want to move it or get rid of it in this room completely. Also, this cluttery corner here, I will totally fix that when I do the railroad later on. Okay, so now next room is going to be this guy down here. I'm going to take the kitchen stuff and set it up. So I have these great big huge leaf carpets. Oh, my cat needs feeding too. I have my cat house thing, cat tree. I'm gonna just get rid of the goose thing and the magic carpet right now, because I'm not gonna use those. The telescope. Telescope totally needs to be in this room. Just throw it in there. Wherever it goes. Yeah, okay. I guess that'll do. Pretend there's a window up there. That's not a creepy telescope. Not at all. Okay. So yeah, I want to have the seating in this corner. I want to have my stove up above it, and I want to have the cat thing right by the door. Basically, the only reason I come in the house, unless it's to show somebody, is to feed the cat or to sleep. Sometimes I will make my character sleep. I also have some very interesting furniture that came in this Nordic set. Basically, there were these interesting benches. But you know what? I think actually right now we're looking pretty good. I got two first rooms totally completed, which I'm super happy about. There's the Nordic room that still has to come, and the one down here, the kitchen. I think I'm gonna probably cut this video now. We got a pretty good length. It's a good one for the first one of the year. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope that you have enjoyed all my content up till now. I'm going to be kind of doing some updates. I updated my description today. And really, I want to have a clear vision of where I'm going with the channel and what the objectives are. And hopefully you guys can be a part of that as well. So many thanks. Glad to have everybody. All the feedback has been really, really awesome. Hope that your 2022 is fantastic. Hope you guys are spending time with family and friends, and I will see you all next time.